I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me. Yeah, wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It's a Wednesday, so everybody knows that means it's time for another weekly Top 10 countdown. And this week, we're going to venture outside the world of sports and wrestling because I feel like it's been a while since I've done a top 10 countdown that wasn't about sports or wrestling. And this week's top 10 countdown comes from the website roamingtheusa.com. Any thoughts on this top 10 countdown, please feel free to let me know. Any ideas or suggestions for a future top 10 countdown, please feel free to let me know. I've did a top 10 countdown similar to this one last year sometime, but it was different because last year's top 10 countdown was top 10 vacation destinations, and this week's top 10 countdown is going to be top 10 spring break destinations in the U.S., and there is a big difference because a lot of people have a job where you're able to get more than 1 week vacation a year, and not everybody wants to go to the same place every time they go on vacation. If you get 3 weeks a year, if you're able to go someplace all 3 weeks, you would like to go to at least 2 different places each time so that you're going to new places and seeing new things. And plus, a lot of people would rather go on vacation in the springtime than you would the summertime because it's so much cooler with the weather. I know when my grandpa was alive, God rest his soul, he would a whole lot rather go somewhere on vacation in March or April than he would in June, July, or August, because any place he had to go that was above 85 degrees, he wasn't going. And also I know a lot of times it's not as busy in the springtime. Everybody knows by now that my family and I, we all like to go to Pigeon Forge. That's our vacation destination. Typically, most years, we try to go around March, early April, when the kids are still in school, it's not too hot, and it's not too busy, because we have 3 small kids, and especially 3-year-old twins, and with those kids, it's hard to go somewhere on vacation and go to a restaurant to eat, and you walk inside and you have to wait for 2 hours or an hour and a half, and then you have to explain to your kids over and over and over again to try to make them understand why you're having to wait, instead of just walking in, walking up, tell them how many's in your party, and going to sit down. So we try to go in February or March, and it's not that we don't want to meet people, because we like meeting new people. It's the fact that when you have 3 small kids, and especially twins, you would rather just go to a restaurant, walk in, sit down, eat, get up, and leave. If you want to go play putt-putt, you just walk up, pay, go play, and you're done, as opposed to waiting. So typically that's why we try to go in March or early April when it's not too hot, not too busy. We just weren't able to this year because our daughter is now going to public school, and of course, she's in school, and we wouldn't have went to Pigeon Forge last week when she was out because it was their rod run, and their rod run is too busy for us. So we do not like to be there for the spring rod run or the fall rod run because it is bumper to bumper traffic. And I'm just going by memorization, so I could be wrong. But when I did the top 10 countdown last year on top 10 vacation destinations, I don't believe any of those 10 cities are on this week's top 10 spring break destinations. If your child is out of school this week, hopefully you're able to get out and do something. I know our daughter was out last week, but a lot of schools are out this week or next week. And again, this week's top 10 countdown comes to us from roamingtheusa.com. If you have been to any of these places or would like to go to any of these places, please feel free to let me know. Number 10 is Moab, Utah. And roamingtheusa.com said that spring break is the perfect time to get out of the house and enjoy all that nature has to offer. And the best place for that is Moab, Utah. Number 9 is Boulder, Colorado. And it says that a perfect spring break destination for anyone who enjoys a dose of culture or the great outdoors is Boulder, Colorado. And I know I mentioned this last year after one of our trips to Pigeon Forge, but Grace and I had the pleasure of meeting Nikki and Nate, who are from Colorado. They're actually from Grand Junction, Colorado. Nikki works in the radio business in Grand Junction, Colorado. And even though Grand Junction is not Boulder, the pictures and photos that I have seen of Grand Junction, it is a beautiful place. So I'm sure Boulder, Colorado is the same, especially if you are a fan of the mountains, which is what Grace and I prefer. Number 8 is Savannah, Georgia. It's full of beautiful architecture, luscious green parks, fascinating history, and delicious food. Now, I know a family that goes to Savannah just about every single year, and it looks like a pretty place, but I'm just not a beachy type person, which is why we always go to the mountains. I can go to the water and get in the water, and within 2 hours, I'm ready to get out. And then I'm like, okay, now I need something else to do. I'm tired of the water. Number 7 is Maui, Hawaii. And Roaming the USA says there's so much more to Maui than golden beaches and waving palms. And the reason why it said that is because not far from Maui is another city whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce because it's spelt O-A-H-U, but I've heard it pronounced about 10 different ways. So I really don't know how you pronounce it. I know the Hawaii Bowl used to be played in that city, and it was actually called that name there for a while. And that city in Hawaii is known for basically just golden beaches and waving palms. Number 6 is La Jolla, California, which is nicknamed the Jewel, and it offers excellent food, stunning beaches, and a variety of things to do. Before we crack the top 5, let's recap 10 through 6. Number 10 was Moab, Utah. Number 9, Boulder, Colorado. Number 8, Savannah, Georgia. Number 7, Maui, Hawaii. And number 6, La Jolla, California. Number 5 is the Outer Banks of North Carolina. It's a string of islands off the coast of North Carolina, sure to touch a chord in the hearts of visitors. And I know that is a very, very, very busy place. I have watched a few videos of people going to visit there. They call it OBX for short, and it seems like no matter when you go there, it's always busy. Number 4 is a city that I'm wanting to go to so bad right now, not just because I've never been there, but because I heard a commercial on the radio last week about some Cajun food, and ever since then I've been craving some real Cajun food. Number 4 is New Orleans, Louisiana, and roamingtheusa.com says it's a unique city with incredible history, incredible food, and a vibe like nowhere else. And number 3, we're going back out west, Seattle, Washington. Loads of attractions and cafes that you will love. Number 2, Dallas, Texas. Incredible nightlife, historical places, and excellent eating venues. And I love how almost every single place and every single city on this countdown has to mention some kind of cafe or food or restaurant, and that's right up my alley. It doesn't matter what else your city has. If you've got great eating, I'm on board. I'm all about that life. And number 1, according to roamingtheusa.com, for spring break destinations, we're going back to Utah, which was number 10, with the city of Moab. This time, Zion National Park. It says it has iconic trails like Narrows Hike, Observation Point, and Angel's Landing, and relatively quiet for an epic sunrise hike. So I think anybody who likes to hike nature trails definitely, surely needs to visit Zion National Park in Utah. Again, any thoughts on this countdown, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. My son said he was cold, so I told him to go stand in the corner. He asked me why, and I said the corner is 90 degrees. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.